Welcome back to the shop. We're back on the TA. Got the transmission bell housing installed on the last video. I just got done stabbing it back up in the car. Got it supported with a ratchet strap so we can move on to some further projects. It's really bright outside, so I don't know if this camera is getting blown out right now from the sun coming in the end of the building. But my next move is I'm about to pop the gas tank out. That is the original tank that we had modified like, I don't know, 10 years ago. We put a return line in it. So we had a looped fuel system. We were having a problem with a deadhead system on it. So we had done all kinds of stuff to try to keep it from overheating the lines, and we're going to take all that down. All that's coming down. Fuel tank's coming down. We have a new tank in the box right there under my small block Chevy. That's a EFI, and we will put an EFI in tank pump, brand new tank in it, and hopefully that will supply plenty of fuel to the LS3 500 horsepower, 525, 480 torque, something like that. I've already forgot. I've had this project going for so long. Yeah, 5.25 horse. So there's our deal. I did buy a new pump for the in-tank pump, just because I had read some bad reviews about the pump that comes with the kit. So we're going to use that as a spare just to keep in the glove box in case he's on a trip, or you know, just out and about somewhere and the fuel pump decides to take a crap. There's a backup. We got a Deatschwerks. I can't remember how you pronounce it. I'm not good at that kind of stuff, pronouncing words and stuff. I'd have to look at the box again. I can't remember how you pronounce it, but I did some reviews, or I read some reviews, and we went with one of their pumps because they seem to be quality, and don't want to have to be pulling this tank in and out. So we're going to go ahead and get set up and rip it down. Got two straps here, which is a, I don't know, 9/16 bolt there and there. We'll take my fuel lines down real quick, and I don't think I need to do anything under the tag for the filler. I think I'll just snake right out of there. All right, we'll get set up and yank this thing out. I went ahead and threaded my bolt back in because I don't want to lose it. Alright. Ground. Ground right there. I'm going to take it off. Can't remember if it's attached to the tank or not. I don't want to find out the hard way. I'll let the tank down. It be attached. I'm by myself. I'm trying to untangle or undo a tiny ground wire and balancing a gas tank on a transmission jack by myself, or whatever I end up having to do here. Start that back as well. starting to sweat. Gotta turn the fan on. Sorry about the noise. It is humid. It rained like crazy about an hour ago. I mean, massive storms. Typical Georgia thunderstorm. I don't think there's much gas in it. I think ethanol crap evaporated. Been sitting here so long. That off, it popped off. I got my AM wrenches. Pop off this fuel line. Should be able to come out now. I think. Let's find out. Yeah, trying to keep that on so it doesn't leak out of there on the way down. There is gas in it. Always forget something. coming down. Oh. Okay, you can see how clean this car is. I mean, she may be dusty and cobwebs and crap like that, but she's not a rust bucket. Can't call her a rust bucket. So we had to put this bung in for return, and I remember it being a real pain to try to hold the nut that's on the inside of here through this tiny sending unit housing. We had to rig something up. I can't remember how we did it. You just got to improvise. A lot of times when you're building hot rods, you just do what you got to do. So we're going to get this new tank out and see what she looks like. All right, so we've got the tank out, of course. Got the tank ink still in its wrappers. Just wanted to touch on a few of the things that I see that's different. Of course, we knew it's going to have another hole. This one just had the sending unit hole and the vent. That was it. Of course, we'd put the return line in it. We talked about earlier. This one has, you got your pump, your sending unit, or vice versa. I'm not sure which one's which yet. I'm pretty sure this is the pump hole. And it comes with, you got a vent tube here. It comes with this rollover valve. We're gonna mount that somewhere high. It comes with this Y. I'm assuming one goes up to the charcoal canister, one goes to that rollover valve, like you've got here. But I'm not positive. I mean, you got several vents going on here. You got, well, you got a fuel line going out. 2 vents and a 3rd vent. So I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. So we've got the sending unit, got the fuel pump. Well, I mean, that's not the pump, but that's what the pump mounts to. That's the pump that came with it, but we're gonna keep that as a spare. Okay, so here is the box with a Deatschwerks pump. There's the sock that goes on the bottom. Here's the pump. I got a DW65C to replace the standard pump that comes with tank ink. So the 65 will flow 265 liters per hour at 40 psi. I want to say this engine runs at 50 psi, so there's a chart for 50. It'll still put out 250 at 250. I'm sorry, it'll put 250 liters at 50 psi. So we're still way above what we need to run the LS3. So we won't be lacking on pump. I don't think he's ever going to put a power adder on it, but if he does, we can just drop the tank, put a bigger pump in it, or run an auxiliary, but I really don't think he'll ever do that. I think this 525 horsepower motor is going to be plenty for this Firebird for the road. It's not going to be a race car. It's just going to be a hot rod run around in. It's going to have air conditioning, power steering, power brakes. Everything's going to work. So I guess I'm going to assemble the fuel pump and get that mounted in the tank. And don't have my lines made up yet, so I'm not gonna be able to put the tank back in the car yet. So we'll just get the tank, the sending unit dropped in, get the fuel pump dropped in, and that'll probably be it for this video. Once I get that done, then we'll figure out our fuel lines. We're gonna have to get a couple fittings to screw in here and here. That's just a barb. So, let me show you what else we're running. For our regulator, we're running the Wix filter, which is the Corvette style filter. So it's got an in and an out, so we don't have to, we can run it somewhere close to the back, close to the tank, so we don't have to run two lines all the way up like we did before. We can just run, and we could have ran a different pump with a return style that came straight off the pump. My old Camaro was that way, but yeah, we'll run this somewhere in this area in the back, so the tank will just have a line coming out to this filter regulator, and then one going right back to the tank from the filter regulator, and then one going straight to the front to supply the engine. And that'll be how that is set up. So we got to do some measuring here because the fuel pump stuff does not come pre-trimmed. So we've got to measure the depth to the bottom of the tank, and that gives us at the bottom of the tank to the bottom of the bottom edge of this top hole, or this fuel pump hole, is 8.5. To the top, we're looking at yeah, 8 5/8. All right. So we've got to measure eight and 5/8. Which this is really hard to do one-handed. But I've already determined where I want this. So I'm just going to give you a rough idea of how I'm doing it. Got to have some room for the sock at the bottom. You don't want it pinned up on the bottom. So I need to cut this supply tube, but I also need it to fit all the way down on the pump. So basically set it eight and 5/8. That's about 8 and 5/8. And we've got 4 inches. We need to cut 4 inches down from here to make it where it fits here. Not very straight. And the sock is on, and I also had to put this, I think that's a sound deadening blanket around the motor. And now we need to trim the return line, which just pumps fuel back into the tank. Need to cut that down, basically like this picture shows. So we'll put 2 straps around, but we're going to cut it down right above where the sock goes. Alright, so our hose is trimmed and strapped down to the pump. Now we need to put the wiring through. So it's got these connectors, these nuts at the top right here, and you got 2 wires. One goes through each hole, and when you tighten these down, it seals. So gas hopefully won't come up through there. You just stick your wires up through there like that, and you just pull them through, plug it up. Like so. Alright. I've got it rotated, got the pump rotated where everything's slim and up under the deck, up under the top, so it'll drop straight down. Shouldn't give me any problems. You tighten these up at the top, and that'll seal those wires so gas won't go up through there. Tighten these nuts. You just want to do it until you can't pull the wire anymore. You don't want to over tighten it because it will cut the wire in half, I'm told. So I guess I could probably put like a drop of WD-40 on each one of those just to make sure there's no fluid that's going to seep through there. I think we're going to be good. Now I just got to drop it in with a gasket and figure out my fittings. Okay, so now moving on to the fuel sending unit, which you have this float, which is pretty long, and this sending unit, which is also pretty long. And the instructions here, it says for tank depths of 6 to 15.5 inches, it'll be necessary to remove the lower mounting bracket. So that would be this whole lower portion here, this brass looking. So I got to take these screws out that hold the rheostat on, and I've got to take these two screws and nuts off and discard this bracket. Okay, so with this bracket removed, we reattach the rheostat back to the upper bracket. And we know that we were 8.5 inches depth, so we know we're more than the 6 to 15.5, even though I didn't remeasure, but I already measured for the fuel pump. So that's where we're at. We'll pop the screws back in this, and then we'll attach the float. Okay, so with the directions, of course this is being the top of the tank, the pivot point for the float arm needs to be in the center of the tank. So half a tank is where this is. So this needs to be at the half tank mark. So you take your measurement from your top to the bottom, split it in half, and that's where she needs to land. And then you stick your rod in and let it float all the way up until it would touch the bottom. So you want it just under. And then you take and chop the rod off right here. All right, so I made a mark, and then I'm going to take it back out and cut it because I don't want a bunch of shavings and crap all over the sending unit. So I'll chalk this up in a vise and whop it with a Ziz wheel real quick. There you have it. Floats up, falls down. Now I ordered some PONTIAC sealer. I can't remember the name of it or the number. It's like 82420 or something like that. And I will I might have to take two hands to get that in there. Anyway, I will use that sealer on these cork gaskets on both sides when I permanently install this. Unfortunately, like everything else right now, it's hard to get, and I had another leak on this little boat too on the carburetor, so I'm waiting for some the same product for that, and it's going to take like 7 days to get it. Ridiculous. Nobody's got it local. I got it off Amazon, but it's still going to take forever. But we got other things we can be doing, so we're going to be working on other things. We're just not going to stab the tank back in right now. That's kind of why I wanted to pull this down, because every little step of the way in projects like this, you're going to run into roadblocks, and you're going to need something. And right now, coming out of our pandemic COVID season, everything's hard to get, especially in the automotive world. So we'll just keep, we got tons of work to do on this thing. Tons of work. Gas tank's not going to stop us from doing anything. We're going to keep plugging along. We'll pull this old fuel system down, the lines at least, and we'll get all that pulled down. Goes all the way up there. And we'll, I guess, start mapping out. I don't know if I'm going to map out. The fittings are easy to get. I'm not sure what fuel line I'm going to use yet. We'll see. Let's get this fuel line down, and then we'll figure out what we want to do next. By the way, if you're cutting that rod for that cinder with a I decided to use a hacksaw on the vise. That little joker is hard as a brick. Either my hacksaw blades suck, or that's like the hardest freaking little teeny tiny rod I ever cut before with a hacksaw. But anyway, we're gonna keep plugging along and try to make as much progress as fast as I can on this build. As we need to get this thing done. We got a long way to go before it's done. Long way. All right, stay tuned. We're gonna pop these fuel lines off, which isn't very exciting, and then we'll probably wrap this video up at the end of that. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down in the corner of the screen. Give me a thumbs up, please. It's free. Thumbs up for free. Subscriptions are free, and it helps our channel grow. We don't make anything off this channel at this point. We've got a long way to go before we can ever make any money off this channel. And if you like these videos, you want me to continue to make these kind of videos, I gotta see some growth in it. If not, it's not even worth me doing it. This takes a ton of time to film, talk to you guys, try to teach some people things, and then edit it down and put it together and monitor it all. It's a full-time job, and I've been fooling with this for quite a while. We've, I think, got 140 something videos. We're at about 443 subscribers, I think. We got to get to 1,000 before they even let us monetize anything, and then you still don't really get anything until you get much bigger than that. We really need to get over 10,000 before this thing will be profitable, and at that point it probably still won't make much. So if you would do your part, and you want to continue to see these kind of videos and these projects, and man, I've got a lot coming. But if we don't start seeing some interest in the subscriptions and the thumbs up, that helps the algorithms. It helps share the video. It lets YouTube know that you like the video, that you didn't just watch it. So the thumbs up's very helpful, man, and I appreciate it if you can just hit that thumbs up video on all the videos, and hit that subscription, man. We really appreciate it. We appreciate all you guys watching, and hopefully we can continue to grow this thing. I'm excited about growing it. I'm not giving up by any means, but I need some participation from other areas, and that's you guys. Appreciate it. I really do appreciate you watching. We're going to rip this fuel line down, and then we'll probably wrap this one up. May have to cut that out because I had music playing. I forgot old Buffett was on. Anyway, I just got done taking all these fuel lines down. It was all zip tied to the factory brake lines and stuff and routed along the frame rail. It was neat. It was just old Bud didn't like the zip ties, and he wants factory style hold downs when we go back together like that, and that's fine. I understand, totally get it. I'm gonna lower this thing down. We're gonna pull what's up top down, and that'll be it for removing the fuel system. Checked the channel a minute ago. We're up to 433 subscribers, which I thoroughly appreciate. We are growing. We've got 50,000 plus views. Please hit that thumbs up and that subscribe button. Not trying to be a whiner. I just need this channel to grow. I need it to grow if we're going to keep doing it. So if you appreciate, and that goes with all YouTubers. I mean, people don't understand how much work it actually goes into, especially when you're doing a couple videos a week. Someone's popping out a video a month or something, that's no big deal. But when you're popping out a video or two, or sometimes 3 or 4 a week, which I have been doing up until about a month ago. I slowed down a little bit. It's so hot out, but it's a lot of work. It's a ton of editing, especially when you're doing stuff like this, where you got to kind of cut out a ton of boring spots and cut out stuff in the background, like music. You can't have any music on YouTube. It'll go copyright infringement, and they won't even they'll let you post a video anymore. They totally block it. So if you have like more than a second or two of I'm serious, of any kind of audio that pops up in their filter, done. So anyway, guys, we appreciate you watching. I'm going to lower this thing down and snatch the top of this fuel system out, and we're going to wrap it up. Appreciate you watching. Please hit that subscribe button, guys. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Peace. All right, I'm still filming. I'm gonna take these 2 fittings off, pull this regulator out, then I'll be able to snake the lines out, and that fuel system will be totally out. That regulator is out. Put my AN wrench back up. Well, I got a lot of tools I need to put up. Raise this thing back up. We appreciate you watching. Come back and see us again. I'll be trying to post as many videos from this Trans Am as I can, but while I've still got it in my presence. We've got probably a lot of cold air, not cold air, probably got a lot of vintage air stuff coming up on the interior side. There'll be videos probably labeled vintage air kit, 3rd gen, I'm sorry, F-body 2nd gen. All right, fuel lines are on the ground. Power cable, I don't know if I need that power cable or not. I don't know. We're probably going to add a fuse panel up onto the dash somewhere and wire in the factory harness, or well, it's not a factory harness, but it's the harness kit that came with the plug and play system for the LS3 and the vintage air kit. We've got to wire both those up, make everything jive and make everything a little prettier than we did before. Hopefully you'll come back and see me tomorrow. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I'm just kidding. I'm not freaking Mr. Rogers. All right, catch us in the next one. Peace.